Here we go again, folks. We got another great bike to review from the Furious line of fabulous e-bikes. This time, it's the Havoc Xtreme Torque Edition. Now, we're here on my driveway because this is a folding bike, so we're going to be setting that up. We're going to be doing the fold, and then we're going to be loading it into the back of my car. And also, we're going to be checking out my Ironman muscles. But before we get started on that, let's get into a few of the bike details. There's a big 60-volt, 1,000-watt rear hub motor that puts out about 100 Newton meters or 75 pounds-foot of torque. That's massive for some of the big hill climbs that you've got around here. A 60-volt, 20-amp-hour battery and a 25-amp controller. Now, this just gives you a big 1,200 watt-hours of riding, and that's pretty phenomenal. Another great feature is it's got the true torque pedal assist. This is a much more efficient use of the battery, and it does that by measuring the pressure of your feet on the pedals, and the output and the power you get is proportional to that pressure, and there's no lag, no delay. It's instant, and it's there from the start right through the duration of your ride. But there's something else I'd like to point out that I haven't done before, and I really think it's worth noting. With the improved torque measurement system and a rear hub motor other than a mid-drive motor, you have much more durability to your drivetrain. No stress on the chain, much less stress anywhere else on all the other components, and that's just a huge advantage. And onto the suspension, we've got my favorite RST guide front forks here that you can lock out. I just love these. These are great for off-road. And with that, there's an air shock at the back, right underneath the seat post. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how well these harmonize together. And check out these mags. They look awesome. They're 20x4 and they got the CST Scout tires. What I love about these, with this kind of block tread, very quiet ride on the road, but also this pattern here, it really helps on the gravel trail. So yeah, that's a win-win. I love that configuration. That's just a great look. These Zoom hydraulic brakes stop you really quickly. It's got 2-piston caliper here and the 203mm Pro rotor. But look at the color accent they've added here on the front and the rear, and also up on the brake levers here. I just think that looks awesome. As for the gears, we got the 52-tooth front crank, which eliminates your ghost pedaling at the higher speeds. Also a 7-speed 1132 freewheel with the Shimano Acero derailleur. So obviously it's a folding bike, so we got the pedals that fold, we got the fold joint here, and we've also got the handlebar fold here, and we'll be demonstrating that in just a moment. And onto the rest of the bike, you've got a very strong rack, which is a maximum of 15 kilograms, an integrated light, which is a running light, of course, brake light, and left and right turn signals. But on the front, they got this nice big light, and Fabulous are using those on a lot of their models now. This light is so bright that in the daytime, you can be seen like from a mile away. But I went out for a ride last night in the dark, so check this out. Now this light is crazy. Check that out. That's illuminating the whole road ahead. That's absolutely crazy. Didn't I tell you that was impressive? It's got BMX style handlebars, and I gotta say, I love this. I'm tall, 6'2", and I've got the seat raised pretty high. But you can see here, I've still got quite an upright position in my riding. From a personal perspective, I really like that. And for those of you that saw my previous video on the Road Warrior Elite, you'll know that I refer to this DDK seat as the love of my life. I'm glad they've included it on this bike because this is the most comfortable seat ever. And they've done a nice job of the cables here. They have to go outside and they're nicely attached here. We got the folding joint here so the cables can't pass through that, obviously, but that's a good job done there. And also look at this cable here down for the motor. That is really big and robust. And onto the controls. Right side throttle assist here next to the trigger shifters, and on the left we got the horn, left right turn signals, on off for the lights, and on off for the bike here with the up and down for the torque for the pedal assist. So a quick on press and you can see the Fabulous logo that shows up. I love that. Now you've got your battery remaining right here, your battery assist level there, right up and down, all the way up to 5 kilometers an hour, miles an hour, whatever you want to set it to, odometer, trip for the day, all of that good stuff. This screen, even in bright sunshine, is really bright. All right, so with all that being said, why don't we fold the bike up and put it in the back of the car. All right, so a quick look at the locking mechanism. So simply a lift up of the lever and then pull that out and around, and then you simply, there's a little lock under there. You lift that up and then pull that out, and then look, you can separate that. Now I'm going to leave it like that for the moment for convenience. And then also here, this is the lever for the handlebars, but I'll do that later. Now, in order to do this successfully, the best way to do this is to remove the battery, because the battery is 13 pounds and that seat is about 3 pounds. So there you go, 16 pounds. That should make it a much easier thing to do. So I've already turned that key here and simply pull out the battery, put that to one side, excuse the wobble, undo the seat, pull that out, and we're ready to go. And for the pedal fold, quite simple, simply push in, then press down, and you're done. Okay, so now we're ready to lift. Pedals are folded. I got the joint ready to go here. I've lifted that. Get rid of the kickstand. But first, before we do that, for the purpose of the video, I've spared no expense. I sacrificed one of my really expensive $2 pool noodles and put that over the shock. Now, the reason I've done that, in my practice folds, I wasn't sure if I was going to get any metal interference. And it's not my bike, but that's a great thing to do. It really makes sure it's secure. Now, brake on, kickstand back, hold the brake, and just push the bike around. Now that bike now is ready for lifting from that perspective, but we're now going to fold the handlebars and we're good to go. And what we're going to do now is do the lift. And we're going to let the wheels do a bit of the work here. Simply lift, let the wheels come in to the back of the car and literally wheel it in. Set it up, and it's done. And that was pretty simple. And the reverse is the same thing. Let the wheels do the work. So grab and hold, let the wheels roll, bring it down. That's the first bit. Handlebars, pull up, lock into place, pull the bike around, let it lock here, down, in place, secure that, and now we're done. Get rid of the noodle. Battery in, seat in, and you're ready to go. 2 people, absolutely no problem for doing this. It was easy for me on my own. So yeah, let's go ride. So here we are. It's a lovely trail, this, and it's a real comfortable feeling. These BMX handlebars, they have you elevated at the front, so you're more upright. And even in my case, with the seat high, because I'm tall, I'm still upright. I don't feel much pressure on the handlebars, so I'm not expecting to get much of that like wrist cramp that I get, that is quite common for me. Very comfortable ride. The no bumps yet, so we'll talk about the shock absorbers later. But look at this, we're going along 29 kilometers an hour, almost 30, there we go, 30, battery assist level 2. So I'm expecting a good range out of this. One thing you notice right away is how quiet the tires are. The rolling contact with the fine tread really makes it smooth and quiet. So you can feel the torque, pedal assist, very smooth, no lag. And at this point, not interested in the top speed. It's just a nice trail, nice and easy. Want to play it safe. We've got other riders, quite a few of them today. So just cruising along like this really does demonstrate the bike nicely. Now for me, I'm always someone that likes to pedal, but you want to just use the throttle, I'll stop pedaling, Level 2. I mean, look at this. I'll go down to level 1. So now we're going to be on minimum battery effort, right? I'm twisting the throttle. We're up at 37. So the battery economy can be maximized by going level 1. I mean, look at this. It's crazy. It's nice, easy riding on a trail like this. And there's something odd that I'm feeling on this bike in a pretty cool way, really. When I'm riding this bike, and I don't know why, I just get this easy cruise feel that I want to do. I don't know if that's the mood I'm in today, but you know, going out and going gung-ho and giving it a blast, it's capable of that. It's well capable with that 1000 watt motor, you know, and that 60 volt battery. But I don't know, this bike just feels so cool to just ride around on and just ride. So now we're on a part of the trail where we're going to get a few ups and downs on the hills, and nothing too crazy. So I'm going to leave it at battery level assist 5 and just easy pedal through it, and then use that torque when I need it with a pedal push. So a few bends coming up here, and we should be coming to a couple of small hills. Here we go. And just that little push on the pedal, and you go cruising well up. Nice and easy. Another one here. Almost nothing to do. So here's the perfect demonstration of what it means to be pedaling level assist 5, and look how slow we're going, right? So now we've got a very steep bit of trail, and look, no momentum. I'll just push a bit on the pedal. Look at that. I got no work to do, just that little push on the pedal. And the level 5 is not all about the power and speed. It is about the torque and how you can use it even at low speed. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And again, the response is very quick, very precise. All right, let's have a bit of fun. Battery only, level assist 5. It's going slightly uphill. That's okay. Now we're starting to level out. And away we go. We're perfectly on the level now. It says holding us at about 50, 52. And if I turn that into pedaling, that's 53, 54, 55. That's pedaling. What that shows is the effectiveness of the 52 tooth front crank. I was able to generate downward force on the pedals. I wasn't ghost riding, even at that speed. That's pretty amazing. Well, you've not heard me really talk much about the rear shock absorber, this air shock absorber. You know, good bounce on the bike. And I began to realize, I've done this trail many times and there are bumps, but it's taken them out. And I've almost forgotten to talk about it, but that's how efficient it is. I like that. So how do I feel about this bike? How do I rate this bike? Now, you've heard me say on all other bike reviews where, you know, this bike's good on the hard trail, it's good on the road, urban, and that's all true. And you ride that bike accordingly to meet those styles. Now, this bike is really unique because it just seems to default to each road you're pedaling on, each track you're pedaling on, each trail. I can't quite explain that, but it just feels wherever you're going with this bike, it just yeah, it just rolls. It rolls with the road. I gotta say, that's a really unique feature. It's got the power, it's got all of that. Great shock absorbers, we know that. Brakes, yeah, all of that. And yet, you just ride it, and you end up just doing this cool cruise thing. And if you want some adrenaline, you just lay down the boot on the pedals. This is a very clever bike. So that's pretty amazing. We've now, I think, 45 kilometers done, and we're down to, I think, 57 volts. We just lost the full bar here. I know that's not completely accurate, but it just gives you an idea of the range that I'll get off this bike if I was to continue riding now. So 45 kilometers, and I've still got a ton of battery left. So before we conclude the riding, I just want to demonstrate the Zoom hydraulic brakes. And at the end there's a real steep hill to do a hill climb. Let's go. Up at 44 kilometers an hour. And hit the brakes. I think that's a real good stopping power. And I didn't want to go fully hard on because I didn't want it to really skid the tires, and this is not my bike, so I think that's a pretty good demonstration of the braking capability. All right, so I'm at the bottom of a very steep hill. We're going to go from a standing start because I don't want there to be any momentum. So remembering my weight, I am 255 and the bike is probably 95, so you know, it's a real good amount of weight for the bike to try to carry forward up this hill. So battery level assist 5, let's check it out. The first thing to notice is we're actually accelerating. This is a very steep hill. The power that's pretty impressive, I've got to say. And now we're at the top of the hill. That passes with flying colors as far as I'm concerned. That's an excellent hill climb result. One final thought on this bike. Oh, there's a good few bumps there. Shock absorbers, love it. I mentioned earlier about how easily this bike rides from road to gravel trail, hills, bumps, doesn't matter. And for me, I think it demonstrates the best all-rounder bike for me so far. It's got a bit of everything. And this 1000-watt motor with this torque pedal assist, it's incredibly smooth. And it's got that bite, that edge taken off just a little bit, like eco mode. And it just makes this bike, I think, perfect. For this bike, I think it is outstanding. That's why this is the best all-round bike for me. That's a personal fault, but that's it. I can't fault this bike. They've done everything right with it. Everything. This bike is just awesome. I think it fits pretty much most riding styles. It's a great bike. So there you go, and I gotta say I really enjoyed doing that bike review. Okay, very quickly, pros and cons. How come I don't talk about them in my reviews? And to me it's very simple. I'll take a look at a bike that I'm gonna review, what's its design, what's its intended use, and then I'll talk with Lampro and I'll build a framework with how I'm going to test and how I'm going to ride that bike, and I'll stick within that, and I think that's the right thing to do. I'm not going to take a city design bike and take it up a mountain and expect to get something. It makes no sense, and that's not what I'm going to do. Now, you could have a con. You could have a mountain bike that won't climb the hill. That would be definitely a con. But I got to say, none of that's happened with the Fabulous Furious bikes. Everything I've tested and ridden is just met and well exceeded the expectations from within that test framework. And that's a testament to their design and their manufacture of the bikes. Now, there are preferences, and People that don't see their preferences in place often turn that into a con, and that can happen in reviews, and that's just not the right way to do it. It just doesn't have what you're looking for on your bike. So Fabulous have got that covered. They've even got a showroom full of bikes with different people's preferences. My wife and I like a bike with attitude. She likes a bike with comfort and, like easy riding. And we both bought our bikes from Fabulous, but they were tested differently for the different specs that they're designed for. And it's as simple as that. Look, I hope this was helpful. I hope it was useful. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button below and maybe give me a like. I'd much appreciate it. And as always, please be careful out there on your bikes, and I'll see you again soon.